everybody. Welcome to the second ever YouTube episode of the Illuminutty podcast. I'm joined by a special guest today, Buckeye Bart.
Hello, Mika. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Hey, I am doing wonderful. Anytime I can be on a YouTube channel with you and talking Buckeye football, it's a good day.
Yeah, it's a good day. Made even better by the additions we got in the transfer portal yesterday. I
Yeah,
don't know about I don't know about you, but I always like to get surprise additions, and some those I really wasn't expecting, es- especially the cornerback from Georgia, Dominic Kelly. I think he's really got some great potential. I love his build. He's 6'1", 190 out of IMG Academy. He was a high four-star in high school. I love his coverage ability, and he already played in garbage time in 8 games and had three tackles and three pass breakups. So he's already flashing potential.
yeah, yeah, that came out of nowhere. The Georgia recruit, and from what I'm reading, they were pretty excited about him, and they were. It's almost like that he was their Aaron Scott, Bryce West type of player that had potential that they hate to see leaving. And the future is going to be brighter for Ohio State. Thank gosh. And yeah, that's always great to get last minute people that you don't expect. And yeah, let's just go up from here.
My thoughts exactly. I think he's gonna fill in great here and provide great depth, and I think we're gonna rotate more and get a lot more snaps for the younger guys, especially if the new uh, redshirt rule gets instituted and these guys can play instead of 4 games, it, go to 9 games. I think it'll be a lot more easy to get these guys on the field and get them live game snaps.
Do you think maybe they'll change it to five from 4 years to 9 years, maybe eventually, Mika? It's going to be, they're going to say, hey, there's a 40-year-old out there and he's in his 20th year. That
Well,
would be great.
I wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised at this point with everything that's been happening. You got some guys like TJ Finley who are on their seventh college since being recruited out of high school, and I believe he was a member of the 2020 or 2019 class. So it's just mind-boggling to me how some of these guys can just hop from school to school and nothing being done about it.
Well, and you can see Carson Beck. Yeah, he's seventh year, and it just says something about you if you're hopping from school to school to school. Um, that I don't know. I can't say a character issue, but there probably is if your school's not really trying to keep you. But 7 years, this we used to be Mika about college and getting a degree, and it's not. I mean, if you haven't got your degree in 7 years, then you weren't doing something right. But it's
Yeah,
starting to get a little ridiculous, and I don't know who the longest person has ever played at Ohio State. Uh, that
I
would be
don't
a good question to research. Like, who stayed the longest at Ohio State?
I
Uh,
don't know. I need to look into that. I'll look into that
yeah,
and see, because that's an interesting question.
yeah.
But it just, I mean, you got Diego Pavia winning his lawsuit and trying to fight for to make it so JUCO years don't count against players, and that's still a possibility to happen. Like they awarded waivers to him and some other players to not count their JUCO years, so like it might end up to where we're seeing guys that are close to 30 trying to play college football against high school kids, which is just crazy to me. Not to mention dangerous.
Well, as you know, I'm a big Browns fan. I say that sparingly on here on YouTube, but um,
I know I'm a Bengals fan. I I relate to your pain.
oh, but back in the day, we selected Brandon Whedon, and he was the 27-year-old rookie.
I
But
was just
yeah,
I was just gonna bring him up.
yeah, and it's just uh, you think that experience means they're better. In that case, he wasn't. But there are circumstances that people are older that play, and you have your the BYU's, you have your people that go out for sabbatical for 2 years and come back, but
Yeah,
you got people just that are abusing it now,
and I
and that,
yeah,
I don't think it's good for the game. So
and I mean I really like the older running back that we got from Florida, Kobe Jackson. I think he's a great addition. He'll provide great veteran leadership, and in 2003, uh, he actually, uh, 2003 or 2004, he actually tied the team uh, as the team leader for rushing touchdowns. So it's not like he's not talented. I'm not saying these guys can't play. I'm just saying the constant, like, trying to skirt around the eligibility for different reasons is just getting ridiculous. These guys are getting too old to play the sport, some of them, and it's just like when you get on your seventh school, like a guy like TJ Finley, maybe it's time to reconsider letting it go.
well, hey, let's watch how you use the word old here on Mika, okay? I'm 52 and I still can't play football. So,
Well,
it's
I'm
but
32.
when you're talking about old for college football, um, for one reason or another, if you want to start college late, that's great, but there's no rules that are being followed. They skirt the rules, they find loopholes. Um, it's just like the whole college scene. It's not the college game that I grew up watching that we loved. It was just pure football, for love for the game, getting a degree, and bettering your life. Now it's a job degree. I think that is going by the wayside, and it's just like how many wins can we get? How much money can we get for the university? And I don't like it. Now I'm not going to stop watching it, but I don't like where this is headed.
I don't like it either, and I do like what we have heard from Ross Bjork in his interview that he thinks the CBA is coming and there will, there will be punishments and stuff. But let's face it, it's just going to be fines.
Well, and if we learned anything from the NCAA, it's the Michigan debacle, and that's what um, they're after is money. And as we talked in other podcasts, like they got a punishment, but the NCAA really benefited from that punishment from the money. They don't care if it's bowl bans and loser recruits. They want that fine, and money is obviously the ruiner of all things in this world, and they're right in the middle of it.
Exactly, and I mean, these kids do deserve to get paid. Don't get me wrong. I do think they deserve to get paid, but when you add money into it, it's just messed everything up, especially when there's no guardrails and no regulations. And I feel like the NCAA just doesn't care. They're like um, Emperor Nero or the Joker, just sitting back and playing the violin or drinking and just watching things burn while they enjoy the chaos. They're just cashing their checks here.
Yeah, like you said, there's just no regulations right now, and why bring out something if you don't have everything in place to govern it? And I'm afraid when you brought up the NIL here in Ohio for high school, it's going the same way. But when you got kids that are younger than 18 making this money, it's not going to be a good thing. I really, we're doing a dangerous path. And schools don't, high schools don't really, I obviously benefit from the money aspect of football. like college does. So in college, I think there should be a cap. Uh, how much does a player really need $1 million? Um, but that's just it's insane. And where are we heading? This is like what, year one or two of this, and,
Yeah.
and we're all talking crazy numbers already. It's like, how high will it go? Um,
And
that's crazy.
I think with the high school NIL, it's kids are gonna get a taste of these big contracts and stuff, and getting this big money and stuff, and maybe it'll help them learn how to manage it before they get into college. But I think it's just gonna make them more expectant and more uh, money hungry, for lack of a better term, in some cases. I mean, for goodness sakes, we've already seen double the amount of reclassifications and kids moving up classes, twice as many as there were last year. Now we're up to 17 or 18 kids that have reclassified from the last class already to move up. I mean, the timeline just is so messed up.
Well, and I think it's going to be bad for it's going to trickle down to high school, and like you just mentioned, it already has. A
Yeah,
kid's not going to play 4 years. He has a good freshman sophomore year. You can see a guy like, we're going to give you this much money, but you're not playing high school again because we don't want you to get hurt. We want you to get to us, and it's just going to hurt the high school experience, the love of football. Um, I'm not just saying football, but all sports. You start
yep,
doing this, and basketball's another thing, and you work your whole life up. And what it's going to hurt, and I'll tell you this right now, is um, the kids who aren't going to college, who
yeah,
love basketball, and say, "Hey, we're going to have a great year this year. It's our senior year in high school. We've played together all these years, and now our senior, our leader, is not going to play because he's going to either reclassify or just sit out."
yeah,
And it hurts those kids that, hey, they still love the game, but they still want to win. Um, I feel bad for them, and because I was one of them, and
yeah.
yeah, I never got paid. Well, I wish I did, but I'm not sure anybody would have sponsored me anyway. Except for if they saw me now, they'd probably Hostess would probably host me right now, but that'd be about it. So
Hey, I love Hostess. If they ever,
I obviously think I do too. So
I wouldn't be mad. Hey, Hostess, if you want to sponsor, I'm game.
I'll big a big old cupcake on my front chest and everything, and oh yeah, I can see NIL deals lining up right now. So
Yep, I wouldn't say no.
hey, I
Hey,
I could be the older, fatter Rudy on the Ohio State's team if they wanted me to bring me on. So
then yeah, I can see it.
yeah,
But yeah, and I think like you said, these agents and these parents are getting in these kids' ears, and it's just messing with the entire timeline, and not just uh the college experience, but I think I've seen that trickle into high school experience as well. So it's just there has to be regulations and stuff, but and I do think like me and Vado talked about it, that things will be done, but it'll probably be more in the vein of ma- getting these kids to sign like deals saying they won't leave after some after just 1 year, or just having a non transfer clause, or things like that in their NIL deals and stuff.
well, yeah, and it like goes back to the CBA, and these kids, if they sign contracts, I mean, if they're going to be paid as a job, let's treat it like a job.
Yeah,
They sign contracts like, hey, if you leave, you owe us this much. And now they're going to think twice about leaving. And you spent this money developing these kids, and all of a sudden they're leaving. There's got to be some consequences. There's zero consequences right now for the average athlete. Um, and it just hurts the fans, his teammates, and possibly himself. Because if you want to be real, a lot of these kids that come to college don't have a great structure in their life that say, "Hey, all this pile of cash." You have to have somebody pretty good in your life that say, "Hey, we need to set this aside for your future." And some of these families really count on their child doing this, and they're pushing them to do these deals because that's how they're going to survive. And there's nothing that they can do about it, and it's just the nature of the beast. But a large percentage of these kids don't have that in their life, and to help them out, so it's going to be a temporary high um, for them. But I think what would be great is if they want to do this, the NCAA say, hey, this NIL money, you have to put 75 and you can't touch it until after you leave college.
Yep.
And to help them out a little bit, help them from themselves, because we are talking about 18 to 21-year olds. And if I was 18 and I got $1.5 million, I wouldn't have it today. Um,
I
so
guarantee
yeah,
you I wouldn't have.
yeah, and there's got to be some to protect the actual student, because that's what they are. They're kids and they're students playing a
Yeah,
game. Yeah.
and it's just ridiculous to me. And to an earlier point, I'm not saying that Ohio State isn't also benefiting from these rule changes, but I do think that we got programs like Real Life Wednesdays and things like that still that are instituted in to teach these kids how to manage these things. A lot of these high school programs don't have stuff like that. So that's gonna affect the kids. These kids need to learn how to invest their money and manage the money, especially if they don't have like family and support around them that is n- familiar with how to do that. And that's just gonna, I don't know how you can mandate that the college ranks institute that, but it's just, it needs to happen.
Yeah, well, I'm 52 and I still have a hard time managing my money, Mika. So I need somebody in my. I need a real life Wednesday in my life.
Yeah,
My wife tries to give me real life Wednesdays, but I usually don't listen to her. But yeah,
yeah, I need it too, so I
we
can't
all
say
do.
anything.
We all do. Yes.
But
We need the Podfather to come in here and just preach to us on Wednesdays. Just give us a good Bible lesson to keep us on track. That would be a great thing for this show. So
yep, he can motivate us to be financially sound.
there you go. Yes.
But I think like with the high school classifications and the people staying in college longer and longer, it's just messing with the college experience and stuff. And I get wanting to get into college so you can get the big paychecks. I don't see high school NIL deals ever getting as large as what they offer in college. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope that I'm not wrong about that, because to see that the kind of money that these college kids are getting go to a high school kid to me would just be nuts. But like, it's just messing with the sport. I mean, we could have guys that are, like I said, close to 30 years old going against high school kids. And with football especially being such a physical sport, that's just dangerous.
It is, but if you're going to go to Ohio State and you're a high school kid, you're not your typical high school kid either. You've been
Yeah,
in your weight room your whole life, and you're a grow. You're still growing, but you're a man in regards to physicality. Um, but that's the high state. If you want to go to a lesser school that's smaller, sorry, that's smaller, then you're not going to be as big. But if you want to play high state, you have to be a pretty big boy.
yeah.
What'd
I'm
you think?
so
What'd you think about Kenyatta coming back?
I was just about to mention that. So
Yes.
glad that Kenyatta's coming back. I'm such a big fan of Kenyatta. I think he's gonna have a huge year. I love his dad. I've had the chance to get to know his dad a little bit and talk to him a little bit in the past, and he's just hilarious. I love his dad. His dad is funny.
Yeah, that would be, this experience, doing the podcast and getting more involved. I think, the parents of these people, that would be cool to get to know them, to talk to them because I had a girl that was going to go to college or play sports. You know how much time invested in your kids. You love them. You want the best for them. And I think that would be a cool experience just to get to know some of these kids, parents.
Yeah, he's definitely a character. We'll give him that much. Shout out, Brad. He's hilarious. Um, he talks to Vader and everything. He's he's something else, and I'm sure he's gonna enjoy the championship game and stuff. Cause before he can Yada became a Buckeye, I think I'm pretty sure Brad was a Miami fan, if I remember correctly. So it'd be interesting to get his take on this championship game and how he sees that going. But
Yeah, and all these parents are obviously football fans, and let's not hold that against him. And he's a Miami fan because he was smart enough to have his kid come to Ohio State. So let's not let's not say anything bad about him liking Miami growing up. Um, but
yeah,
it's going to be interesting on that, on the championship game, and everybody's expecting kind of a blowout, and I don't think so. I think Miami's defensive line um, will give Mendoza little problems, and we'll see.
I think it'll be close early, but Indy will pull away late.
Yeah, yeah, you're probably right. And Illinois, I mean, Indiana's offensive line is pretty elite. So if they can handle their defensive line, it will be a blowout. But if not, it'll be a close game.
And you're seeing the effects of having older guys in college football on both teams because you got veterans and seniors on both sides of the ball. And some of those guys are in the sixth, fifth, sixth, seventh year as well. So, that's the way of college football now. I mean, I hate it for the younger kids and from a recruiting standpoint, but like I said, I do think the new redshirt rule, the 9 game change will help make it easier to get young guys in. So maybe that'll make it easier to retain a rosters a little bit more. But I hate it from a high school recruiting standpoint as someone that covers and researches that. It's messed things up a little bit from that standpoint.
It does, and it does hurt the high school kids coming in if somebody's going to be able to get you know 5, 6, 7 years in college where you're taking a place that a high school recruit could go there and play. Um, but I did a little research when you were talking about older players. Like in the last, I went 6, 7 years. Like 75% of all the winning quarterbacks in the thing were at least a junior or senior. Um, the one
Yeah,
exception was
yeah,
Trevor Lawrence. He was a true freshman um, when Clemson won it. Other than that, the next was Jalen Hurts. He was a sophomore, where Tua came in as a freshman in that championship game.
yeah.
Other than that, they were all older players. So when we get down on Julian Sand, it's rare territory for a person who is in his first year of playing um, to win it all. And we saw, I think, in film that he missed a lot of opportunities, and that comes with experience. When you're in the 4 or 5 years, you've seen every defense, you've seen what they're lining up are, you know where your players are going to be, and he will learn. He's going to be a lot better this year, but experience means everything. And And just look at Indiana as a prime example.
And shout out to him for being named to the freshman All American team.
Yep.
He had a tremendous year. Yeah, he left things on the field and opportunities at times, but his vision, his arm strength, and his talent are elite. I mean, there's always going to be things to improve on, and those things are going to come with his experience and him being around his teammates more often and building chemistry with other receivers and running backs and just the team in general. And I look for him to have a big year, and I also look for Ennis to have a big year because there were times where Ennis was wide open and Julian just didn't look his way.
Well, and that's what's going to hurt too as a quarterback is when you bring up that word chemistry. If half of your receiver room leaves, you have to
Yeah,
start chemistry all over, and it's going to be rare if you can keep three or four of your players every year that are starting and playing a lot. You could develop that chemistry, and they're going to be really good. But if you have to reset that every year for a majority of your receiving room, which is the one room where you need chemistry as the receiver and quarterback. If you reset that every year, half of the it's going to really mess it up, and you're not going to get that chemistry until middle of your season next year. Um,
yeah.
and that's what's going to be hard to develop some quarterbacks because let's face it, great receiver will make a average quarterback really good. Um,
That's why I think keeping guys like Philip Bell and uh, Desi Jones and players like that was so huge. Knock on wood. I think today's the last day that they can in, into the portal. I haven't heard anything about them going anywhere. I hope they decide to stay because I think Philip Bell and a lot of the younger guys that we didn't get to see have a chance to be real elite guys for us. Not to mention the freshmen like Guilford and uh, Chris Henry Jr. and Boyd that are coming in and Ricketts too.
well, and we're going to see how Porter and Graham do at Notre Dame. If
Yeah,
they ball out, then we missed an opportunity.
yeah,
But I also say that hey, you got two top five in the NFL receivers on your roster with Tate and Jeremiah Smith. There is not a lot of balls to go around, and that's an anomaly, meaning that you're not going to see that ever again at Ohio State. Two top five receivers on the same team, probably. So
I
it's
would
what's that?
I wouldn't say that because I think there's guys that could develop into two top 10 wide receivers, but top 10 wide receivers out of high school, I agree with you. You're probably not going to see that anymore.
Yeah. Well, and, when I'm saying this, Tate's going to go probably top five, top six
Yeah,
this year, and Jeremiah Smith's going to be either one or two. You're not going to see those type of players playing in the same on the same team at the same time very often. Now
yeah,
you're going to have some good receivers that might go in the teens, 20s, late first round, but to be like the top receiver in the whole class, I mean, we legitimately had probably two of the top three, um, maybe even the top two in all of college football on the same team, and that's very rare, I think.
yeah, absolutely. And you could see it when those guys got hurt that the lack of rotation and lack of uh, chemistry and stuff was saying uh, for the younger guys really hurt us because the relationship between a quarterback and a wide receiver is all about chemistry and timing. And
Yep.
when you don't have that, it really shows. And I think that really bit us in the butt at times during the season.
Yes, it did, and that relationship is key, and to doing that. But if you keep on rotating guys, it's hard to get that timing down because every receiver comes out of their route differently. Some's fast, some rounds their corners off. But when you have two elite people like Tate and Smith, there's a huge drop off on the second tier guys, and sometimes the quarterback has to adjust to that, and maybe he can't during the game. So
Yep. But I think Julian's vision is going to improve with more experience, and his timing and his leadership ability is just going to get better and better. And I think the sky's the limit for him. I do think that we're going to utilize more tempo next season, and that's going to help cover up some cover up some blemishes that I think got exposed during the long season this year. And I do think rotation is going to be an emphasis for this team next year, especially if we want to maintain more of our roster and stuff.
Yeah,
So
you say tempo. It's like, how long have we been screaming about tempo? We keep on
yeah,
hearing it's like this next game we're going to do tempo. We're going to do that. It just never happens. It might do spurts, but the only way tempo works is if you continually do it and wear out that defense.
and
Uh,
it
you can't do it for 3 or 4 plays. And all of a sudden, okay, well let's go back. It doesn't work, and we don't even know who our offensive coordinator is yet. So we
yeah.
don't know if it's going to be tempo or not. We all want that because I think we could do that, but it all depends. It's a lot of ifs.
And you could see it that when we did go tempo, especially in like the Miami and Indiana games, it was effective, and then we just got away from it again. And I don't understand that because we were having success moving down the field, and then we get in the red zone and we bog down again. And to your earlier point, I think Julian saying developing the ability to run is going to be huge, but to my eligibility thing and the changing timeline and stuff of college football, just the timings of games are different. Like the rules have changed, the clocks don't stop after first downs anymore. Like there's so much more that goes into managing the game now. It's changed so much and become so much more NFL like and stuff that it's become harder and harder to get younger guys in and get time.
Yeah, it really is, and even at a place at Ohio State, you are going to get in, but it's going to be in a blowout usually. Uh, but when people say, "Hey, they're not getting experience," they're going against the best players in the country every day in practice. And
Yeah,
I know there's difference between practice and games because there obviously are. But if a quarterback is going against Jeremiah Smith and Cardinal Tate, it's obviously going to make them better. And so when people say, "Oh, they're not getting reps," it's like there's no other better rep that you could have in the country right now, other than being a cornerback on Ohio State going against those players every day in practice. So yeah.
but there's a huge, huge difference between going against a teammate and going against someone that's actually trying to hoot you.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. The game reps against another team are completely different. But getting your techniques down, not making bad habits, and if you can semi cover Jeremiah Smith, the sky's the limit. You can cover about anybody.
Exactly. I don't think there's too many people in the world that can cover JJ one on one.
You could have great coverage, and he still will come down, and that's what makes him, the best college wide receiver in the game today.
Yeah, he's a joy to watch for sure, and I think he's gonna have an even better year next year because I think we're gonna have a lot to prove next year, and I hope whoever is the offensive coordinator lets these dogs out and lets them run a little bit because it's gonna be fun to watch if they do.
It will be. You got one more year of Smith. Let's not waste it. Let's capitalize on it and go from there. I think we're gonna have a. I think we're gonna have a. It's gonna be difficult. I do think we make it in the playoffs next year, and I think it's gonna be a great year next year.
I agree with Podfather's point that he made on the show the other day. I think Brandon Ennis is gonna get the block O, and I look for him to be utilized a lot more and him to build chemistry more with Sayan and stuff because I think knowing knowing what little of about those two guys that I do. I think they're gonna spend a lot of the off season working together and building on their timing and their chemistry and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
they do that every offseason, and it's the players who put the extra time in that will be elite, and I think these people will do that. So
yeah, and I just wanted to make sure to give Kenyatta and all the guys that we got from the transfer portal their flowers again because um, main, accumulating talent and maintaining the talent on the roster we got is still very important to college football. And when you can get a guy like Kenyatta back and stuff, I think that just is really special, and it shows his commitment to the program and to the brotherhood. Because I guarantee you, there were probably other programs in his ear trying to coax him away from Ohio State, and the fact that he decided to stay and go for another year and go for another one for us is important to me. And as a fan, I want to thank him for that because he could have easily went somewhere else.
yeah, and you are right, and but there's something about familiarity. I think he likes his Larry Johnson, obviously, Ryan Day, and then when people, at the beginning of this portal were saying it might be a culture problem, it's like it's everywhere. Just because you leave doesn't mean you hate where you were at. But
Yeah.
when you have the opportunity to leave or the NFL and you want to stay and better yourself, your stock prices, and maybe be a better person, that does speak volumes about your character and who you are. So I completely agree with you, Mika.
And far be it from me to bring up a Alabama quarterback on a Ohio State podcast, but I loved what Ty Simpson said when he decided to stay de- declared for the NFL draft. He was being offered boatloads of money, and what he said was, "Yeah, I could have got boatloads of money and gone to a different school, but I didn't want it to tarnish everything I had done at Alabama."
Yep, and that's completely, that's the right way to look at it, and that's why I say, hey, if a player has 4 years to play and he's at four different schools, it tells you a little bit about that person's character. Not in all cases, but you got to wonder a little bit. It's like, where's your loyalty? And if you're doing really good, why do you want to move? Um, but that's
Yeah.
just the world we live in today, Mika.
Yeah, things are sure different, but I still love the sport, and there's still going to be players I think that are always going to put their love of the sport above other things. That pool may be getting a lot smaller and smaller, but there's still going to be fish swimming in it at times, and we just got to find them kids like Jake Cook that, you know, bleed scarlet and gray and will work hard to get their offers and stuff. Those kids are still out there, and like I said, we just got to find them and keep the faith in the program and maintain our culture. I have faith in Ryan Day, and I'll always be a Buckeye, and I love this team, and I think we can get back get back to winning natties and getting things right. So
Well,
I
and as we mentioned earlier, we're both Brown and a Bengals fans. So no matter how good or bad Ohio State is, we're for life. And
yes.
that's just we are just lucky to have a team that does compete, that does has a chance to win national championships. But we are loyal fans, and we love coming here and talking about them. And especially you getting to know the kids coming out of high school and some of their parents. But no matter what they do, I'm still going to get up on Saturdays, have a lump in my throat because I'm nervous watching
Yeah.
this, even if they're 2-10. Uh, I still watch every second because I still watch every second of every Browns game, and so either I don't have a life or I just love football. So
I watch the Bengals games too, even though
yeah,
they cause me pain.
oh yeah, yeah, understand.
But On that note, if there's anyone listening that's in charge of the Bengals and Browns draft, please please take advantage of the borderline NFL team you have right next to you.
Yep.
Draft, draft all guys.
Please comment on this video, and me and Mika will help you out with your draft plans. So,
Yes, exactly. I will. I'm more than willing. I will do it for free. Although, if you want to pay me, I won't say no to that either.
yeah. Wait, well, thank you for having me on here. I love talking to you about football. It's been a great experience, and just getting to know you. You're one of a kind, and your knowledge is off the charts. What you're doing with the Ohio podcast, with the recruiting, the rankings, it's been amazing. And I think people need to start listening to you a little bit more, and following you. And hopefully, when they hear these podcasts, they'll subscribe and listen. But there isn't anybody that I've seen that has more knowledge with high school recruiting and football in general than you do. But I just want to thank you for what you do. You are an asset to the Ohio podcast and to high school football in general.
Thank you. Appreciate that part. That means a lot. I appreciate you being part of the team and everything that you can contribute. You're knowledgeable as well, and you make things fun, buddy.
I think that's the other reason that Eric has me around. Is like he doesn't really know a lot about football, but he sure is funny. So we'll just keep him
Oh
around.
yeah, you do. You do.
Although, that little skit we had the other day, I did say that everybody likes me more because I know more football and have a better personality. So,
That was hilarious.
yeah,
That was one of the best things you guys have ever done together. You got
yeah.
to do that again. That was
If
fun.
anybody who's listening and want to see that, come join Patreon because we'll play it again, um, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, you guys got to see it. It's peak
Yeah.
peak YouTube stuff. We're putting out stellar content.
Yep.
Um,
Well, thanks again, Mika. And if you ever need me again, just let me know.
would love to have you back on, guys. Check out the Illuminati merchandise that what was so kind to come up with for me. If you guys want to support me and the Illuminati podcast, you can buy our merchandise. I'm sure the link will be down in the description somewhere. I appreciate anyone who likes and subscribes and shares the content. If there's a topic that any of you guys want me to cover, drop it in the comments. If it's something that I'm think I can research and get into, I'm happy to cover it. I want this to be as fan friendly as possible of a podcast, and when I get big enough, I do plan on having different fans on and letting you guys share your love of Buckeye football and Buckeye Nation with this community as well. That's how I got my start, and I want to be able to do it for other people as well because this has really had a positive impact on my life, and I want to be able to do that for other people and members of Buckeye Nation and sharing this great fandom with other people as much as possible because it's really sports has the power of bringing people together, and that's what's really great about it. I love
I
that
love that.
you can go basically anywhere in the world and throw up an OH and get an IO back. That's just so cool to me. And I want to build on that with as much of this fan base as possible. I've gotten a chance to get to know people like Bart and uh, Eric Podfather and Grumpy Cat and TG and all the other Schrock and all the other people on the team, as well as other fans through doing this. And it's just been great to get to know everyone and work with people like Vader and learn from them. I mean, Vader's added to my knowledge tremendously. My Jedi Master, as I call him. I'm his Padawan. And it's just been great working with all you guys and building these relationships. Like I said, it's been had a really positive impact on my life, and I look forward to being able to do that for other people as well. But anyway, thank you
Thank you.
for joining me today, Voight. It's been a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed yourself. We have to get tinfoil hats for next time. Go Bucks and Scum still sucks.